We all seem to know President Bill Clinton's unpresidential attitude, but you just might remember former President Jimmy Carter wearing blue jeans and work boots, turning down White House thermostats to save energy, and singing with the Allman Brothers Band. And just last week, he got Michael Jackson to agree to appear on behalf of the Atlanta Project. That's his ambitious project to bring together the poor and the powerful to eliminate urban poverty and hopelessness. At 68, those blue eyes still shine, and in the face of skeptics, that smile continues to infect you with the promise of possibilities.
Let's go, man.
By the time he hit the slope, 68-year-old Jimmy Carter had already attended the inauguration of his Democratic successor the day before. He had given a speech at 1 o'clock in the morning in Washington, D.C., then caught a plane to western Colorado and headed for the mountain.
At the top of Keystone. We're going all the way up, right?
All the way up.
Okay, fine. Okay, yeah, we'll try to stay up with you.
I'll try to stay with you, sir.
He's always been physically active, but the 39th president didn't start skiing until he was 62 and out of office.
We're going to go up there now. You'll like it. It's really nice and pretty.
Is it fast?
Nah, you can make it fast if you want to. If you head straight down, it'll be fast.
Last month, he had enough energy to keep up with 17 Atlanta teenagers who joined him and supporters of the Atlanta Project for a long weekend of fun and fundraising at Crested Butte Ski Resort.
Go ahead, man. I'll be right behind you.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, no hurry. I'm with you.
On the mountaintop, he was just one of the boys.
Got a camera?
Yeah, you bet I do.
Well, we'll line up before we ski down. Let it get a picture with all of us.
The idea behind the weekend was to raise money for the Atlanta Project. More than 200 people spent more than $2,000 each to rub shoulders with the president and have a good time. But Jimmy Carter wanted more. He wanted those with deep pockets to get to know some whose pockets were empty. That's why he introduced the CEO of a national corporation to a low-income student from Atlanta.
I went to Miami. You have a major problem here.
That's why he interrupted his speech so one of the Atlanta youngsters could tell his story to the audience.
I haven't tried to talk too long, but I think now, instead of making additional comments, I might... You want to say something? Come on up, man. Okay.
To make the Atlanta Project work, Jimmy Carter has learned that before you can help the poor, you have to get to know them.
A lot of us think, rich folks think, all those folks want is a handout. They want a good welfare program. That is not true. You know what they want? Most of all, is a job.
The Atlanta Project is just his latest. Since leaving the presidency 12 years ago, he's offered his services around the world. And he's offered his hands here at home. Jimmy Carter spends his time on problems he thinks he can fix, but he lives every day with the knowledge he may be stricken with the same disease that killed his father, his mother, his brother, and 2 sisters. They all died of pancreatic cancer, and that is so rare, the president and his family are serving as guinea pigs for the National Cancer Institute at Emory University. But are you cancer-free?
Yeah, so far, as I can tell, I'm cancer-free.
But do you worry about that?
Not really.
Why not?
Well, in a way, I'm kind of a fatalist, and also I have confidence in the health specialists in the National Cancer Institute and at Emory for early detection. One problem with pancreatic cancer is you can't tell it's there until it's really too late, because cancer in the pancreas doesn't change the shape of it, so it doesn't show up on an X-ray or anything, and usually it's so far advanced when they do detect it that this can't be cured. But I think in the test that they're running on me, which is somewhat experimental in nature, they would probably be able to detect cancer in my body somewhere at a fairly early stage.
I also have a feeling that your faith gets you through this.
Well, it does. I mean, if I have cancer, so be it. But I don't want it. But I can live, I think, with with any sort of thing that happens to me. I kind of put myself in God's hands.
And he puts his faith in the future. He's a grandfather many times over. There's an old saying, if I had known how much fun grandchildren were, I would have had them first. Is that what's happening with you?
Exactly, yeah. Well, the grandchildren are just an absolutely unpredictable an incredibly wonderful experience. You know, obviously we loved and still love all our 4 children, but there's a special place for grandchildren. You'll know someday.
Do you feel like you're a better grandparent than you were a parent?
I think so.
And why?
Well, I think first of all, my grandchildren and my children would agree with that I'm a better grandparent than I was a parent. My father was extremely strict with me, and I never disobeyed him in front of him. And I was equally strict with my sons. And they now, in retrospect, I think then too, thought that I was too firm a disciplinarian. It almost drives me up the wall now to see how lax my children are with their children. You know, they'll give them a command, and their kids pay no attention to them at all. You know, I would have snatched one of my children up, you know, quickly if they hadn't obeyed me. But the grandchildren, I think, are turning out quite well. So maybe laxity on the part of a parent is okay. Are the little ones doing okay?
They all doing good.
Let's go. Try to stay with you.
The Carter marriage has lasted 46 years. One reason is both Jimmy and Rosalind treat it as a partnership. When he was president, she sat in on cabinet meetings. Rosalind Carter continues to be a national leader in mental health work. Rosalind is your what?
I'd say sweetheart, partner. One of the things that's made our marriage stable has been that she's been a full and equal partner with me in everything.
I have heard that punctuality is one of the things, number one, be on time. Where did this come from? And also tell the story of what you gave Mrs. Carter as a gift that dealt with punctuality.
You know too much about me. Rosen would agree with you that that's not only one of my most fervent habits, but also one of my most unattractive habits. I guess it was in the Navy when I learned that if you tell somebody, I'll meet you at 7 o'clock, that you're there at 7 o'clock, and not there at 15 minutes after 7 and so forth. So Rosa and I don't quite see the punctuality with the same degree of intensity. So I guess for 35 years, we had not a constant argument, but a frequent argument about extreme punctuality. So a few years ago, I woke up and I was working on a book, writing a book, and I went in my study quite early in the morning and turned on the National Public Radio, and they said it was August the 18th and so forth. And I said, this is Rosen's birthday. I don't have anything for her. I'd forgotten her birthday. So I decided, I asked myself, what can I give her that would be most valuable? So I wrote her an affidavit and signed it that never again in my life would I ever refer to punctuality in an unpleasant way. And I haven't. And that's been probably 8 years. So it removed, by the stroke of a pen, which is very difficult for me, by the way, one of the most contentious arguments that had aggravated our marriage for that long.
They are partners in many Carter Center projects. In fact, he says they both enjoy life more now than they did when they were in the White House.
But I really enjoyed being president. I don't want to derogate the way I felt. I never woke up a single morning in the White House that I didn't look forward to getting to the Oval Office to start tackling some of the duties that were mine. Sometimes I was disappointed when I got there, but I enjoyed looking forward to it anyway.
But do you miss it?
Yeah,
Would you want to do it again?
And I wouldn't ever seek it again. First of all, I couldn't get elected if I ran again. But
outside on the Carter Center grounds, it's easy to recall the governor who spoke out against racism, or the candidate who promised he would never lie to us, or the world leader who brought two Mideast foes together, or the president who saw his successor bring American hostages home. So is this your legacy to the future? Is this how you want to be remembered?
Oh, it's fine. You know, yes, that's one of the legacies. I hope some nice grandchildren would be the other one.
Your presidency now, do you think in history you will get what you deserve, that your presidency will be seen very differently than it was when you left office?
Well, I'm sure I won't get as good as I deserve, but yeah, there's no doubt that with passing time, the historians are treating me much more favorably than they did when I first left office. And the same thing has happened with Truman and Eisenhower and others. And I don't think there's any doubt that what we've done since I left the White House kind of puts a better twist on what we did in the White House. People could say, well, gee, I didn't realize that that's the way you felt about things. So I think really people understand me better now than they did perhaps when I left the White House.
And have you ever told us a lie, sir?
Not so far.
Thank you, Mr. President.
When Monica comes back,